Jayo Giri Varadhari, Jayo Giri Varadhari. Shodanandana Brajajana Ranjanam Shodanandana Brajajana Ranjanam Yamuna Tira Vanachari Munatira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Gopi Janna Vallabha Jayo Giri Varadhari Jayo Giri Varadhari Shodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Shodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Radha Madhava Shri Shri Mahaprabhu ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Gaur Premanandi. This morning we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 21, Shloka 14. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ye Maya te hata medasastvat Padharavindam bhava sindhupotham Upasate kama lavayate shyam Rasisha kaman niraye appiyesyu Ye Maya te hata medasastvat Padharavindam bhava sindhupotham Upasate kama lavayate sham Rasisha kamam niraye piyesyu. Please chant. Word by word. Ye, those persons, Mayaya, by deluding energy, Te, of you, Hata, has been lost, Medasa, whose intelligence, Tvat, your, Pada Aravindam, lotus feet, Bhava, of mundane existence, Sindhu, the ocean, Potam, the boat for crossing. Upasate, worship. Kamalavaya, for obtaining trivial pleasures. Tesham, there. Rasi, you bestow. Isha, O Lord. Kaman, desires. Niraya, in hell. Api, even. Ye, which desires. Svu, can be available. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Your lotus feet are the true vessel to take one across the ocean of mundane nations. Only persons deprived of their intelligence by the spell of the deluding energy will worship those feet with a view to attain the trivial and momentary pleasures of the senses, which even persons rotting in hell can attain. However, O my Lord, you are so kind that you bestow mercy even upon them. Purport. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter, there are two kinds of devotees, those who desire material pleasures and those who desire nothing but service to the Lord. Material pleasures can be attained even by hogs and dogs, whose condition of life is hellish. The hog also eats, sleeps, enjoys sex life to the full extent, and is also very satisfied with such hellish enjoyment of material existence. Modern yogis advise that because one has senses, one must enjoy to the fullest extent like cats and dogs. Yet one can go on and practice yoga. This is condemned here by Kardama Muni. He says that such material pleasures are available for cats and dogs in a hellish condition. The Lord is so kind that if so-called yogis are satisfied by hellish pleasures, He can give them facilities to attain all material pleasures they desire. They cannot attain the perfectional stage attained by Kardama Muni. Hellish and demoniac persons do not actually know what is the ultimate attainment in perfection, and therefore they think that sense gratification is the highest goal of life. They advise that one can satisfy the senses and at the same time, by reciting some mantra and by some practice, can cheaply aspire for perfection. Such persons are described here as Hatha Medasa, which means those whose brains are spoiled. They aspire for material enjoyment by perfection of yoga or meditation. In Bhagavad Gita it is stated by the Lord that the intelligence of those who worship the demigods has been spoiled. Similarly, here too it is stated by Kardama Muni that one who aspires after material enjoyment by practice of yoga has spoiled his brain substance and is full number one. Actually, the intelligent practitioner of yoga should aspire for nothing else but to cross over the ocean of nations by worshipping the personality of Godhead and to see the lotus feet of the Lord. The Lord is so kind, however, that even today persons whose brain substance is spoiled are given the benediction to become cats, dogs, or hogs and enjoy material happiness from sex life and sense gratification. The Lord confirms this benediction in Bhagavad Gita. Whatever a person aspires to receive from me, I offer him as he desires. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Ajnanjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namaham Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gobesha Gopiga Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sudha Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gorat Vishya Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Excuse me. It's nice to see you all here. It's quite surprised to see the full classroom after many months of empty classroom. So looks like some life is coming back to Mayapur. Welcome all who came from elsewhere. So here we hear the prayers of Kardama Muni to the Lord who just appeared to him after long tapasya, meditation and devotional service of Kardama Muni. Who is Kardama Muni? He is Prajapati, son of Lord Brahma, very exalted personality. So Lord Brahma, he asked him to create progeny. It's the beginning of the universe, and this is the greatest need. You need to fill the universe, otherwise what's the point of having such a huge universe with nobody there? So he worshipped the Lord, he worships the Lord for this purpose, and then when the Lord appears in his personal form, Kardama Muni, he is very pleased, but at the same time he feels regretful. And here in this verse he expresses his regret that he worshipped the Lord for some material purpose. Did we ever worship the Lord for material purpose? No, never, just for pure bhakti. So he says, Kardama Muni says, only those who have no intelligence will worship the Lord for some material purpose. Sense pleasure is so insignificant that is available even in hell. Can you imagine? Even in hell you can get it. Of course, in hell, one drop of sense pleasure is mixed with the ocean of suffering. You know, when the Yamadutas are dipping you in the boiling oil, and then when they lift you, you have some sense pleasure. You feel relief. On earth, it's more balanced. We get some pleasure, but also some suffering. And in heavenly planets, in Swarga, it's an ocean of sense gratification, and some little inconvenience is also there when the demons attack, so you feel some fear and some anxiety. So it's a mix everywhere, just different proportions. So the point is that sense pleasure, sense gratification you get according to your karma, and it's nothing special about it. And asking it from somebody who can give something much more valuable is, what do you need? I can give you everything. Give me 10 rupees. It's a stupidity. or meeting the president of some country and asking for something insignificant. Another knowledgeable person is in the ocean and you're drowning, a boat comes to save you, and instead of taking the hand and climbing out the boat, you ask for a lollipop. Give me a lollipop or ice cream. I want to stay in the ocean. So who else in the Bhagavatam worshiped the Lord for material purpose and repented about it? And anybody remembers? Dhruva Maharaja, this is the famous example. He wanted to get the kingdom greater than his father and grandfather, and he did very, one-pointed worship and tapasya, chanted the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And then when he was fortunate that Lord appeared in front of him, he again similarly expresses his regret for asking him for that. I'll quote that verse 499. Nunam vimushta matayastava mayayate. Again, this mayaya, he's like we have in this verse, ye mayaya. So, deluded by your illusory energy, I was asking for this. Yedvam bhavapyaya vimokshanam anya heto archanti kalpakatharum kunapo pabhogyam ichanti yat sparshajam niraye apinrinam. Persons who worship you simply for the sense gratification of this bag of skin are certainly influenced by your illusory energy. In spite of having you, who are like a desire tree, Kalpataru, and the cause of liberation from birth and death, foolish persons such as me desire benedictions from you for sense gratification, which is available even for those who live in hellish condition. And Srila Prabhupada in purport, he comments, I'll just quote part of the purport. He says, only due to gross lack of knowledge does one worship the Lord for material profit or for sense gratification. The Lord is a desire, like a desire tree. Anyone can have whatever he desires from the Lord, but people in general do not know what kind of benediction they should ask from Him. Happiness derived from the touch of skin or senses happiness is present in the life of hogs and dogs. Such happiness is very insignificant. If a devotee worships the Lord for such insignificant happiness, he must be considered devoid of all knowledge. So, what is that is much more worth than insignificant sense gratification, and we should pray for and worship the Lord for? And this is again answered by Dhruva Maharaj. He says, my Lord, the transcendental bliss derived from meditating upon your lotus feet or hearing about your glories from pure devotees is so unlimited, it is far beyond the stage of Brahmananda. So he says that the bliss of devotional service is something that is much, much more valuable. It's more valuable than even the bliss of Brahmananda, which is unlimited. Actually, the bliss of Brahmananda is compared to little water in the cow's hoofprint, and that bliss of Brahmananda is millions of times greater than any material sense pleasure. Then what to speak about the sense pleasure? So Kardama Muni, his exalted personality, he knew all these things before having the darshan of the Lord. So then you can ask, so why did he still worship the Lord for this insignificant purpose? Srila Prabhupada, just 2 shlokas after this, in a purport, he asked the same question. He says, a question may be raised, since Kardama Muni was advanced in spiritual life, why then he did not ask the Lord for liberation? Why did he want to enjoy material life in spite of personally seeing and experiencing Supreme Lord? The answer is that not everyone is competent to be liberated from material bondage. Not everyone is competent. It is therefore everyone's duty to enjoy according to his present position, but under the direction of the Lord or the Vedas. So it is clear that the worship of the Lord for material benefit is condemned, but it's also clear that souls, Bhada Jivas, conditioned souls of this verse, who are not free from material desires, are very rare in this world. So what should they do? Should they try to fulfill their desires on their own and not worship the Lord? No, the Bhagavatam says no, they should still worship the Lord. We have famous sloka in 2nd canto, akama sarva kam va moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajita purusham param. So those who are akama, who have no desires, those who are sarva kama, who desire everything and anything in this world, and those who are moksha kama, who desire liberation, with the tivra bhakti, with the intense one-pointed devotional service, they should worship Purusham Param, the Lord, who is the best of all personalities. So the question is, so if we have material desires, anybody has any material desires, or no here? I guess everybody is completely liberated. So what should we do? Should we pretend not to have them? I mean, even if you don't pronounce it in front of the Lord, in front of the deities, when you go for darshan and pray to the Lord, even if you don't pronounce them and pray for these material desires, the Lord, He will detect them in your heart. So it is not so easy to get rid of material desires. It's like a skin rash. that is not easy to get rid of. Here in Mayapur, sometimes during the summer season, it's very, very humid. And then you catch some fungal infection. And this fungal infection sometimes persists for months, and you go and seek this remedy, that remedy, allopathic, homeopathic, but it just doesn't go away. It's very difficult to get rid of it. So similarly, material desires are like that. You might have one desire and you fulfill it, but then another one comes, another one. It's not that difficult to get rid of them. So one approach for this problem, like each skin rash we have, is to ignore it. But who can do it for a long time? Who can ignore the itch? Another approach is to go to a doctor for treatment and apply some medicines and try whatever works. So those who are irreligious, who are weak karmis, who have no faith in the Lord, they will just try to satisfy their desires, legally or illegally, illicitly or illicitly, anyway or one way or another. They will just want to fulfill their desires. But then they have to reap the consequences of doing sinful activities by satisfying these desires. And those who are pious, this is the more advanced stage, they will accept the Vedic injunctions, they will accept the dharmic rules and regulations, and they will try to satisfy these desires according to Dharma. So these are Karma Kanda followers. Karma Kanda means is meant for those who have these strong material desires, but at the same time they have a faith in the Lord, some faith in the Lord. So they do it according to rules and regulations, and thus they are gradually elevated and purified. Do we know any example from Bhagavatam of a person who had such strong material desires, but still, he was abiding to the law of Dharma in fulfilling them? One example comes to my mind is King Pururava in the 9th canto, 14th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. It's described in connection to Apsara Urvashi, who was cursed to fall down to the earth from Swarga. And as you know, Apsaras are amazingly beautiful. Whoever just sees Apsara, if he's a normal man, he just faints. He cannot not feel attracted to such a beauty. So similarly, King Pururava, who was also very beautiful, he immediately felt in love when she approached him, and he married her. But she had some conditions how she will stay with him. She made some conditions. I don't remember all of them, but I remember that she said that she will eat food only cooked in ghee, and that she will stay with him only if she never sees him naked. Some rules were there. But then the Gandharvas, they wanted her back to the heavenly planet, so they made some tricks, and they stole her lamps. She had some lamps that she was very much attached to. So Gandharvas came and stole these lamps, and then Urvashi was chastising Pururava. They were lying in the bed that time, and she was chastising him. What kind of coward you are? You're lying here, and my lamps, they're crying. Somebody's stealing them. And he felt, that he had to show his strength and courage. So he went with a sword in the darkness without even dressing himself, and he managed to rescue the lamps. But then the Gandharvas, they flashed some light, and then Urvashi saw him, and he was there naked. And then immediately she left, because he broke the promise that not to be seen naked. So after that, he suffered so much. He was so much attached to her that he was, roaming the earth, looking for her, trying to find her, and he just couldn't find her. At one point, he propitiated the Gandharvas, and they were pleased with him, and they gave him another girl that looked exactly the same as Urvashi. But still, when he was intimate with that another girl, her name was Anjistali or something like that, he recognized it was not her, that was not Urvashi, so he immediately left that girl. And then he started, he got the 2 pieces of the wood of Arani, and he studied actually the Karma Kanda Yaga. That was the beginning of Treta Yoga. His intention, his motivation, goal was to go to Svarga to join Urvashi. So he studied the Karma Kanda ritualistic performances. So this is an example of person who is very much attached to sense gratification, but still he wants to follow the Vedas, he wants to follow the rules and regulations given the Lord. So in this way he gives respect to the Lord, and he is elevated, he is promoted. But devotee, he's different from this sort of karma kanda follower, from pious person. Devotee knows that Krishna and love for him is the goal of life, but still he might be weak and have material desires. So what should such person do? We know Krishna and Krishna Prema are the goal of life, but still somehow we struggle with these material desires. So what should we do? Krishna answers that in 11th canto when he speaks to Uddhava. He says, Jata Shrado Mam Kathasu Nirvina Sarva Karmasu Veda Dukhatmakam Kaman Parityage Yanishvara. He says, having awakened faith in narrations of my glories, Shraddha and Matkatasu, being disgusted with all material activities, knowing that all sense gratification leads to misery, but still unable to renounce all sense enjoyment. This is description of a devotee. And now Krishna says what he should do. Tato bhajeta mam pritha shadalor drida nishchaya jusha manas chatan kaman dukho darkam garhayan. My devotee should remain happy and worship me with great faith and conviction. Even though he is sometimes engaged in sense enjoyment, my devotee knows that all sense gratification leads to a miserable result, and he sincerely repents such activities. So Srila Vishwacharya Thakur and Srila Jiva Goswami, they comment on this verse. And Srila Vishwacharya Thakur, he says that person that became disgusted, this person described in the verse became disgusted with the Vedic rituals and also with ordinary material activities by observing how they all lead to suffering. So he understands that material desires, especially attachment to wife, children, family, household, is full of misery. Still he finds himself unable to completely give up his attachment and his desires. But still his determination for bhakti is very strong. So his attachment to sense objects may remain, but his attachment to bhakti is deeper. So he will occasionally, when he is weak, indulge in those desires. But after that he will criticize, he will condemn himself. Oh, why did I do this? I didn't want to do this. I hate doing this. But somehow still he's pulled to do it. It's just a weakness. But still he has a faith in Krishna, and he continues devotional service. So Krishna is encouraging such persons. He is encouraging them just to continue and not be depressed in spite of occasional slips and fall downs. They should continue to hear and chant about Krishna, because such hearing and chanting will purify the heart, and eventually person will be able to give up his material desires. So point is being made that bhakti is not dependent on renunciation. Even if one is not really fully renounced, even if his heart is still full of material desires, devotional service in itself will purify the heart. And Krishna, he never rejects such a devotee. So we should not think, oh, Krishna doesn't like me anymore because I just couldn't resist and I indulge in this small sense gratification, whatever it is. No, Krishna never hates his devotee. But still, we should repent if these things happen unintentionally. It's not that intentional, I keep committing foolish thing, and think, oh, Krishna will forgive. No, I try my best, but if I cannot do it, and sometimes I indulge in some small sense gratification, Krishna will forgive, but I should repent, and I should understand it's not good for me, and I should try again to refocus my mind on devotional service, to hear and chant about the Lord. So gradually, over the time, such neophyte devotee, he is expected to make some progress. And for this progress, active endeavor in surrender to the Lord is necessary. Surrender is called Saranagati, and as we know, Saranagati is the foundation of bhakti. It's a gateway of bhakti. You cannot do devotional service without surrender. So surrender is not just some mechanical practice, but it's also state of mind. It's also emotional state of dependence on the Lord and faith in the Lord. So all our external practices, our sadhana that we do, going for Mangarati, going for Darshanarati, chanting our rounds, following for regulatory principles, they are meaningful only when they are permitted with this inner mood of surrender. So what are the limbs of Saranagati? We know from Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Anukulasya Sankalpa, accepting what is favorable, Partikulasya Varjanam, rejecting what is unfavorable, Rakshishati Vishvasa, faith that the Lord will protect us, Goptite Varana, accepting the Lord as one's guardian and master and maintainer, Atmanikshepa, full surrender, and Karpanya, humility. So these are the 6 limbs of Saranagati. It's actually something very prominent in Sri Sampradaya. They very much stress this part of, they call it property, and they equate it with the bhakti. So Saranagati or surrender, generally it's a contract or relationship between two persons. In our case, between the jiva and the Lord. But in general case, it's between person A and person B. So person A is one who is surrendering, that's us. And person B is the person whom we are surrendering to. In our case, it's a Lord. So both persons, they need to fulfill some conditions. It's not that you don't need to have any qualifications. So person B, the one to whom we are surrendering, should be first samartha, means capable. He should be capable to fulfill our desires. Otherwise, why should I surrender to such a person who cannot do it? Some year ago, I remember my devotee friend who was so much impressed by one, I won't say his name, by one US president and his campaign to make, America great again or something. So he was telling me that he will change everything. This is the game changer. We should, just have faith in him. Actually, there was one person in India who even made a murti of Trump, he was doing puja to him. But is he really capable to fulfill? Maybe he can do but there is another condition. Such person should be karunika, compassionate. Not only capable, he should have some compassion towards us to fulfill our desires. Otherwise, if he's capable but he doesn't care for us, what is the point? He cannot help us. He will not feel urged to help us. So capable and compassionate at the same time. And then, what about qualifications of person A who is surrendering? We are always surrendering with some purpose. We want to achieve something. Some motivation is there. So that motivation can be, material, as we spoke about the persons who have worshipped Krishna, having material desires and want to fulfill some material purpose. But the purpose also can be completely spiritual, to attain Krishna's lotus feet. But still, regardless of the purpose and motivation, person A should have some qualifications, and these qualifications are these 6 things that we mentioned. According to Sankalpa, person A is supposed to do what is pleasing to person B. Particular Sevarjanam, he should avoid what is displeasing to person he is surrendering to. Rakshishete Vishwasa, A should have a faith that B will protect him. Protect has 2 connotations. First is that he will fulfill my request, my desire. Otherwise, why should I surrender to him? And second, that person B will prevent any obstacle that comes in the way of fulfilling my desire. What I desire will come to pass by the mercy of that person B. Fourth, Koptrite Varanam Tata, the person A should acknowledge to person B, state to him, I'm taking shelter of you, please fulfill my desire. So it should be some sense of acceptance and sense of beseeching. You accept the person, but you go and also beseech him and pray to him for fulfilling of your desire. 5, Nikshepanam, A should resign to person B without trying to fulfill that desire himself. If I try to fulfill desire myself, that means I don't have a faith that Krishna or whomever I'm surrendering to is able to fulfill that desire. So if I'm approaching a doctor for a particular problem, I should not, try to cure myself and, prescribe medicines. I think that I should have a faith in doctor and not take medicines independently. And 6, Karpanya, humility. Of course, we should approach the Lord with a full, humility, feeling completely helpless. But at the same time, Akarpanya means that one should not now go and beg and be humble in front of somebody else and ask help from somebody else. Because in this way, we are undermining the Lord. Because we are expecting somebody else to fulfill our desire. We go to that person or some rich person or whomever we think can fulfill our desires, then we are undermining the Lord. So only of these 6 items are in place, then I can say that I'm engaging in Saranagati. I'm engaging in a surrender. So I'll summarize. First, I approach competent and compassionate person for the fulfillment of my desire. Person must be competent to grant me desire. If he is not competent, it's useless. We have some examples. For example, in Ramayana, also I think it's in Bhagavatam, that story that Shunashepa, who was supposed to be sacrificed in a sacrifice to Varuna, but he surrendered to Vishwamitra, and Vishwamitra, he gave him the mantra which protected him. So Indra came and protected that Shunashepa. But there is another example of person who is incompetent. There was a story from Ramayana when Apsara Ramba was ordered by Indra to go and disturb Vishwamitra, to entice Vishwamitra. So she but when Vishwamitra became angry, she fell in front of Indra, but he could not protect her. Still this Vishwamitra cursed her. So this is example of person who was not competent to protect her, and she had to become a stone for 10,000 years. So another point is that surrender must have a purpose. You don't approach somebody, even Krishna, for nothing. You have to know why you are approaching him for. So we can approach the Lord for the love of Godhead, and Krishna is certainly capable of giving it. But even if we don't desire that, we desire something else, he is still very much capable of giving fulfilling all our material desires. But we should come to one day to the point of understanding that these desires will not make me happy. So why should I pray for this? Why should I cultivate these desires? But it has to be realization. Until then, what can you do? You still better to approach the Lord than to try to fulfill desires yourself. So these are some thoughts. There's much more to speak about this this Saranagati. Okay, just for the end I will quote one verse. Lord Ramachandra says Ramayana, Sakrit eva prapanoyas tavasmiti yad yachate abhayam sarvada tasmai dadam yetad vrta mama. It is my vow that if one only once seriously surrenders unto me, saying, my dear Lord, from this day I am yours, and prays to me for courage, I shall immediately award courage to that person, and he will always remain safe from that time on. So only once, if we seriously and sincerely surrender to the Lord, He'll always take care of us and protect us. We should have that faith. So entire Vedic system is based on surrender, on specifically surrender to the Supreme Lord. Of course, there is also surrender to the demigods in the Karma Kanda section of the Vedas, but the Vedas are teaching us that you cannot solve problems yourself. You have to surrender to capable and compassionate person for anything you want, whether it's a dharma, artha, karma, moksha, or in our case, prema. We have to find person to surrender to. And to get faith necessary to surrender, we need to hear about the Lord and about His glories, and to hear about other persons who surrendered. Then we will get convinced, yeah, it's the Lord, it's Krishna whom should I surrender for, and He is capable, He will fulfill my desires. Of course, you can say sometimes, well, I surrendered, I followed all the rules and regulations, I come from Mangalarati, I chant my rounds, still my heart is full of material desires that are not fulfilled. Why is Krishna not fulfilling him? Well, this is difference between Krishna and Shiva and other demigods. Krishna is well-wisher of his devotees. Sometimes when he sees that fulfilling these desires will cause trouble, he will not fulfill them. He will fulfill them for those who are so weak that he knows they will go away from devotional service if he fulfills them. But if he sees that you are steady and that you actually just want him, but somehow you are disturbed by these other desires, he will treat you like an expert doctor and try to cure these desires without fulfilling them, without adding more oil to the fire. Because if he fulfills one desire, you will want more and more and more, and there will be no end to these material desires. So Krishna is expert doctor. Here is our Dr. Sukhi. He can tell you about the expert treatments. But Krishna is the best of all the doctors, and he can treat conditioned soul for the disease of material desires. So this was some thoughts that I had about this. There are 5 more minutes if you have any comments or questions in regard to this. Yes, Mataji is there.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your class, Prabhu.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask, you've been speaking about surrender, and we have to have faith to completely surrender to the Lord. So how does the Guru fit in this picture? Because this also being said that we need not only faith but unflinching faith in our Guru who will take us to Krishna ultimately.
Thank you. Yes, Guru is a representative of the Lord. But sometimes we forget that Krishna and Guru are inseparable, and we think the Guru is all in all. I know only Guru, and I don't know anything about Krishna. This is extreme. Of course, if the Guru is the Mahabhagavat Uttamadhikari, then of course you can do that like this. But it's not always the case. Sometimes Gurus are also Madhyamadhikaris. I don't want to say Kanishta, but they might not be on the highest platform. So they are connecting us with Krishna. We should not forget the Krishna in the whole picture. Guru is transparent via media. If the Guru is not transparent and he is putting himself in front, then he's actually obstacle. No, Guru should connect us with Krishna. If somehow he's not able to do this, then he's doing disservice. But still, if he is appointed by Krishna, he should be worshipped as Yasya Prasada Bhagat Prasad, as God, because he's representative of Krishna. And another thing, we forget that Guru is not only one. We think Diksha Guru is all in all, but sometimes what happens, Diksha Guru leaves, and the person is completely crushed. He has no faith anymore because Diksha Guru fell down. So my spiritual life is finished. But that means that person had a wrong conception of Guru Tattva. That person was representing Krishna. Now that person left, so somebody else can be there to again replace him. But the Krishna is the Paranguru. He is the Adi Guru, and all that bhakti and devotion that Guru is accepting is meant for Krishna. So Guru means many gurus, Shiksha Gurus. Krishna is manifesting himself through Shiksha Gurus. Somehow in ISKCON the culture is such that all worship and everything is given just to one person who gives initiation, but it's actually not proper. The Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna's Kaviraj, says clearly, Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru, they are on the same platform. So we should respect and worship them on the same level, knowing them that they are instruments in Krishna's hands to help us and pull us from this material existence. So we should understand in that way the Guru Tattva. The proper understanding of the Guru Tattva, of Shiksha Gurus and Diksha Gurus, and their relationship to Krishna should be there in order to be able to surrender. So when we are surrendering to Guru, Krishna should be in the picture. We are surrendering to him in order to achieve devotional service to Krishna. It's not that person who is playing the role of Diksha Guru or Shiksha Guru. He didn't become God. When in 70s, when some disciples of Srila Prabhupada, when they came up with the theory Prabhupada is actually God, and they started preaching this, Prabhupada became very angry, and he basically kicked them out of ISKCON. So we should never ever forget that Guru is there only because Krishna put him in that position to help us reach him. And there is also Chaitya Guru who is in the heart. So those who are more advanced, they can access Chaitya Guru also. Those who are neophytes, they need external Guru in front of them, whether it's Diksha or Shiksha. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. It covered many vital points. One of those were how Krishna reciprocates to our desires. So you very elaborately explained, but in that we see two different scenarios. Sometimes we tend to hear that whatever desire we make, Krishna definitely fulfills it after making us capable of handling that desire. And the other one is that Krishna altogether just purifies that desires. And we see both the case studies in our scriptures. So is it both ways correct, or how to understand this?
It's up to Krishna's discretion. He is the expert doctor, so he can judge what is the best in our case. For some people, he says, I need to fulfill his desire, otherwise he will completely lose faith and he will blow and go away. So I need to give him. But he sees another person, and he sees that person is more mature, and he can actually go without fulfilling that desire. So Krishna will treat him differently. So it's up to Krishna's judgment, and definitely he is the best one to judge. He knows us from outside and inside. He knows our heart. So he can make a proper judgment. So what should we do? We should surrender the desire to Krishna and say, oh my dear Lord, if you think so, that this desire is good for me, please fulfill it. But we should leave that space to Krishna to make choice. If you think so, because Krishna might think it is not good for us, it will cause us more pain, it will cause us more trouble. So why should then I want? So I don't know myself whether it's good or not, but Krishna knows. So give Krishna the freedom to choose what is good for you. So we approach him and present our desire. If you think so, my dear Lord, you decide whether this desire should be fulfilled or not. So this is surrender. We give Krishna freedom to decide which way to go. Otherwise, if I demand, no, you must fulfill, you must fulfill. This is not surrender. Then it's like a blackmailing Krishna. You must give me. No. Then he might give, but then you will suffer. You might suffer. Maya might beat you so hard after that you will not know what you did. So we should have some faith that Krishna knows what is good for us. And we should not have faith in ourselves that we know. We don't know, actually. Because after fulfilling that desire, really, all hell might get loose. You never know what might happen. So we should have little faith in Krishna and leave him the freedom to choose whether to fulfill it or not. And if he doesn't, we should still be happy. Okay, my dear Lord, you thought it's not good for me. I accept it. I give up. Yeah, this is what I can say about that. Is there anything else regarding this or anything else? Yes, Prabhu?
So that even if someone has material desires, he should adopt this Tivrena Bhakti Yogena. So, but we see in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Bhogeswara Prasakta Nam, Taya Parita Chetasam, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, Samadhavana Vidhiyate. Means if someone has material desires, so he cannot have this fixed. So, it seems that they are contrary. How someone who has material desires can have this intense devotional service?
Yeah, intense devotional service. Tivra Bhakti means one pointed attention and focus. You are so motivated. You have such a strong motivation, strong desire. When you commit yourself to something, even if it's bhakti, you really do it with a full heart. So it is not possible if you have many desires. If you wish this and that and so many things, then the mind becomes many branch. Intelligence becomes many branch, Bahushaka, and then you can focus on one. And then how can you with this distracted mind, the mind that is not focused, which is defocused on so many things, you cannot focus it on one thing. But if you have one thing, even if that thing is material, you can do tivra, you can do intense. Like Dhruva Maharaj, he wanted just one thing. He wanted the kingdom greater than his grandfather, and his mind was so focused, and he was so determined, and he was able to do it because he had only one desire, although the desire was material. If he had many, if he was thinking, I want kingdom, but I want this and that and so many things, he wouldn't be able to do it. So the point is, have one desire and do the practice. You do your sadhana with that one pointed desire. And of course, we know what the best desire is. We just want love of God. If somehow or other we could focus all our desires onto that one desire, then we would be successful. Because desire is also it's energy of the soul, and if it's diluted on many different things, it loses energy. Like water, when you divert it into many different channels, all these channels are very small. But if it's only one stream, then it's very strong. Whether it's material or spiritual, of course it should be spiritual, but even if it's material, and we approach Krishna for something that we really want very strongly, then we will be able to do one-pointed bhakti because we'll have a strong motivation. If you see all the successful people in the material world, in the business world, for example, they're so much motivated. They want so much, career success or something, or they want so much money to earn this much money. So they're so much focused on it because they have only one thing in their mind. If they were distracted and they don't know what really they want, if you want many things, then actually you don't know what you want. You need to choose. You need to choose one thing, and then focus on that one thing, and then you can do focused tivra bhakti, whatever your sadhana is in this regard. Okay, I think we can stop here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.